Well, the internet's acting up tonight. It's oh, I can't see the time. Um, right. I just wanted to give you a little update on the situation. I was doing a live stream previously earlier on, well, today. Um, I got my delay line hooked up, and it's a bit ad hoc at the moment. I've just rested it and got it. It basically fits right in between my flanges, so I've got it. I've kind of wedged it in there for now. Okay, so my for anyone that's not watched the previous videos on the delay line, it's got a triac, which is there, that tiny little thing there. So what happens is the output current from the coils, the output is fed through in series, that is, into the input, and it goes through a series of chokes, basically a choke, and then there's a capacitor to the other polarity, and then another choke, then another capacitor. So each choke and capacitor stores energy, and that energy is delayed and it's offset, and then it's delivered to when the triac's triggered by the exit coil, which is, I've got them down there now. There's two exit coils. When a pulse arrives from these coils, it goes, the gate is triggered by the trimmer, and when the trimmer is set right, we deliver the energy that's stored in all of these capacitors and delay line chokes. This energy is delivered through the triac, which is an AC device, it's not a DC device. Whichever phase cycle we're on, whether it's a positive cycle or a negative cycle, delivers that energy through to the exit coil, which pulses the rotor assembly to increase our speed. Now, when I originally did this, I had the idea of building a really large choke. This is the one on the end, which is 3D printed case, but the actual toroid is inside there. You can probably just about make it out. It's a pretty big toroid that's in there. Now, every single stage that I've added onto this has made an improvement, and this switch down here, which I've 3D printed, I made a switch which switches out each individual choke to go to the next one, and then next or next one. It's maxed out, so it's basically connected to all of these chokes in series. That's telling me that I need more delay lines. So I did something earlier. I mean, this capacitor wasn't installed earlier, it was missing on the first choke, and I put it in, and immediately I saw the current go up by about 12 milliamps, and the RPM also went up by about 600 RPM. Now I've got the trigger coils in the right location, and that tells me I need more delay lines. And that's good news, because it means I'm on the right track. Each one of them capacitors is 10 microfarads, so there's a string of 10, 10, 10, 10. So that's 40 microfarads in series, which stores energy. I really need to make this bigger. That's what I need. I do plan on making a new circuit, and I need to order some more toroids. The problem is, if they come from China, I'm going to be waiting forever because of the virus. But 60 milliamps output, 60.8, 60 milliamps into 7.87 volts on my supercapacitors, which are up there. Right, so I was on the right track. I was on the right track with this delay line, and I diverted away from it a little bit because I wanted to try some other things. and at the moment I'm pushing in, driving the circuit, the rotor assembly with 360 milliamps at 13.8 volts, I think it is. Hang on. Well, we're at 14 volts actually right now. So the good news is that you'll have to go and look at the previous videos because I can't remember where I put my schematic. It's somewhere around. Oh, hang on, here it is. Ah, right next to me. Right, let's have a look. Oh, my delay line. I thought I'd lost it. It was right there. There's my LEDs which come on if that resistor gets too much power going through it. It's actually a 4.7 ohm now, not a 10 ohm. And I've got the two LEDs back to back which shunt power from the other half cycle through to the triac circuit, which is on the end. And there's all my you can ignore this thing here, this thing, it's not in use. That's just that's just taking measurements from. These are the delay line circuits that I'm using, the capacitors, 10 microfarad actually. Originally was using 4.7s. I updated it to 10, and 10 seems to be a good value, but I'm planning on increasing that to 22s at some point. And there's my chokes, all in series. And what happens is we'll get a cascade effect. So the input in series is coming in. We get a cascade where the first inductor takes a while for it to conduct because the capacitor at this end is holding it down. This capacitor charges up, then there's a delay while the second inductor L2 starts to take a charge, and as that starts to take a charge, its impedance drops, and then the next capacitor charges up, and so on and so on. This is all happening extremely fast within a few microseconds, but it's sufficient enough that we offset the drag, and then this energy that's stored is delivered. So this is connected together. This is a switch. It's a test point, but it's a switch as well. This energy is delivered through the triac circuit at this end actually. This is the coil actually. The exit coil is right here. So the exit coil, this power is then taken from through the triac, and this completes the circuit. Anyway, you get the idea. So my delay line circuit works, but it's not proficient. It's not efficient. I mean, efficient right now. It needs a little bit more. I need to add more sections to it really, and I've run out of those little coils. I mean, little inductors. I need some more of those. So I'm planning on building a bigger one with more inductors instead of one big single inductor, because one big single inductor does seem to help, but I think it's the individual stages that make the difference, because you see every individual stage I've got a capacitor on it, and the problem with a single large inductor is, well, I'd only have one capacitor on the end of that, so unless I tapped it, but that's not going to work too well. Yeah, anyway, so I'm going to have to build another one at some point with many more stages. So that's where we're at the moment, and I've got to add extra generator coils on here anyway. I've got some over there which I've got to install. I've got to do that next. So at least I got my delay line hooked up. We're at 3000 RPM at the moment. And so that's my reading. Those little blips. These little blips right here and right here, those are where the exit coil is being pulsed. So this pulse here and this pulse here is the actual pulse of the that's been sent to the exit coil, but we're seeing the waveform that's coming from the output. So remember that this pulse will actually be at a different time scale. It will be at a different point. It won't be actually on this wave, it will be on its own wave, out of phase with the actual output, because the coils for the pulse coils are actually down here, so they're actually in a different position. I don't know if I can move my oscilloscope lead across to the gate, but that could be a bit dodgy. I might short the oh, hang on a minute, let's try it. Hang on, I've got a resistor I could clip onto. Right, let me get this off here. Right, let's stick it on the gate. Right. Oh, look at that. You can see the pulses jumping up and down. Those are the actual pulses from the to the exit, where it's been sent to the exit coil. I don't know if I'm on the right end, so I'm going to move my probe to the other resistor, at the other end of the resistor. Right. Yeah, less of a pulse there. So I need to be on that end. Right. So we can see the pulses quite clearly there. They need to be more pronounced, which is why I need to make a bigger delay line. But those little spikes you've seen are the actual trigger coil triggering the triac, and you can see that they're quite prominent. Let's see, right there, and right there, the spikes that are coming up, those are the pulses. So anyway, I hope you found it interesting. It's going to be a week or two before I can get some parts ordered. I'm going to have to hunt around and try and get the parts from a UK supplier, because there's no guarantee that I'll be able to get them from China because of the virus that's going, you know, the coronavirus. A lot of flights have been grounded now, so I mean, the chances of getting anything from China is not that I would want to order anything from China, what with the virus being around. So anyway, it kind of impacts your hobby, you know. So anyway, that's it for now. Just a little update on the situation, and yeah. Thanks for watching.